Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Teresa. Thank you for joining me. I have created this channel to help raise awareness for addiction, as well as share my daughter's story of her battle of addiction and loss, as well as my family's life after loss. This is my daughter Heidi, and these are her two beautiful children. Heidi lost her battle to addiction on July 1st, 2018 to an accidental drug overdose. She was 4 months pregnant with my grandson. In my last video, I was explaining and going through her relationship with her boyfriend and ended it with him passing away to an accidental drug overdose. I wanted to kind of bounce back a little bit and go to some other moments and memories of my daughter's struggle. Back when my daughter was about 18, 19, when she went back to Arizona to stay with her dad for a while, she had decided to go to a party, go hang out with a couple guys one night, and so she went to their homes. I believe she had some drinks with them, and she had also chosen to use heroin at that time. My daughter ended up overdosing and fighting for her life. These two guys took my daughter to the hospital and left her outside for help. I am extremely grateful that they took her, because many will just leave that person there to struggle, fighting and suffering, to fight for their life. It's happening every day, and I am grateful that they didn't just walk away and leave her somewhere where she couldn't get the help. My daughter ended up pulling through that one. I thought that that would wake her up and get her to see that it's really easy to overdose, and that it could happen to her. Something she kept telling me, "It'll never happen to me, Mom." After my daughter's boyfriend passed away, she just continued getting worse. She lost the desire to get help because she was so broken inside. There was a time before he passed, the time that they had gotten into a fight when she came home. I will never forget how skinny she was. At this point, she had already been using meth and heroin together. She was not just skinny, but her actions were extremely heartbreaking. I just remember wanting to stay up with her, to babysit her, to make sure she didn't leave and go back, because I needed her to see that she could fight, and I was going to help her fight to get sober. Sorry. She was in such bad shape. Skinny, bobbling all over the place. But she said that she was fine. There was nothing wrong with her. She had a scar on her face she kept picking at. And she kept telling me it was a pimple. It was like right on her chin. It wasn't a pimple. It was like a hole that she'd been digging at. After she'd been there for a few days, there was a time when I used to go check on her before I went to bed every night. It's just what I had to do to make sure she was okay, the kids were okay, because they slept upstairs. And there was a time where I woke up. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I had this urge that I needed to go check on her. And so I went upstairs. And she was sitting in between both of her children. They were sleeping on each side of her. And she was slumped over. But she was, thank God, still alive. But she was nodded off from her drugs. I woke her up. And I gave her a choice at that point, because now it was getting dangerous for my grandkids. Not just her, but my grandkids. And she chose to leave. So she left. My grandkids stayed, obviously. And she just went back to the boyfriend. And she just kept getting worse. She was bouncing from home to home, people to people, just meeting new people. And just using more and more. And then she would go back to her boyfriend. And then they would fight and she would leave again. But after he passed away, she just lost any desire of getting sober. She kept telling me that she was sober. She was fine. But I knew when she was fine, because when she was fine, she was ready to come home with the kids and devote her time to them. When she was using, she wanted to see her kids, but it wasn't a priority. And I know that wasn't her, because she loved her babies. That was her addiction, because she was an amazing mom when she was sober. But she wasn't ready. My daughter lost many friends to drugs. She went to many funerals, saw some of the people that she used to party with 8 years ago. But it didn't ever click that it could happen to her. She truly believed that it couldn't happen to her. She thought she was invisible. Thank you for taking the time to hear my daughter's story. I ask that you continue following me, share my story. If you haven't subscribed, please like and subscribe so that we can get the word out there. I will continue on tomorrow with my daughter's life and battle of addiction, as well as our family's life after loss. Have a blessed evening.